unwanted.
When Zoe is forced to make a fresh start, she faces her worst nightmare. A run-down home.
That's not good.
The place was filthy. There were some real problems.
A terrifying secret.
Roz, I know where the portal is.
And unwanted guests.
All of a sudden, I was hanging over the stairwell. And I just thought, I'm gonna die. This is it.
In America, there is real evil. It lurks in the darkest shadows and in our most ordinary towns. Between the worlds we see
Someone's in my room.
and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality.
This has been the most harrowing experience of my life. I never thought moving into a different place would change my life so drastically.
There's a haunting interview camera AB marker.
It's still very vivid. Anytime I think about it, I can see the spirits. I was living in terror. It was just pure terror for days. I can never go back to being the person I was.
In the winter of 2016, Zoe Day, a divorced mother of two, reluctantly moves into a new home. She's by herself. Her daughter attends college while her son stays with his father.
Home sweet home.
In 2016, my daughter was just starting college, and my son was still a junior in high school.
It is what it is.
My ex-husband and I shared custody of the kids, so they were back and forth. The kids and I had lived in Calabasas for almost 10 years, but my landlord needed to sell, so we had to look for another place. Unfortunately, at the same time, there were low inventory of rentals available. The Thousand Oaks townhome was definitely a step down from the Calabasas townhome. The house was just not as ideal.
Thankfully, Zoe's parents have come to her rescue.
Well, I've got gloves, I've got bleach, I've got sponges, I've got it all.
My parents came down and they not only helped me move everything from here to there.
If you guys need me, I'll be upstairs cleaning.
Okay.
We had to clean everything. There was a lot of work involved, getting it ready to move in, livable.
Ew. Look at this. It is full of all this.
Being at my daughter's house, I didn't love being there. It didn't feel great, but we didn't want to put any negativity out about it. We wanted everything to be as happy and as homey and as positive as possible, and so that's how we tried to be.
Hun! That's not good.
Oh my God.
There were some real problems that had to be addressed by the landlord, but it was like, what could you do? We were pretty much stuck and didn't have alternatives, so it was a case of, we will make it work.
The rest of the house is just as run down.
At the top of the stairs, there was a closet door. It didn't open easily. I had to really pull on it to get it to open and really shut it to get it to close. I just knew I had to tough it out and make the best of it.
Great. One more thing to fix.
Hon, can you pass me the hammer, please?
Yep.
Beyond all odds, Zoe and her parents transformed the shabby townhouse into a livable space.
We knew it would probably be helping her over a period of a couple of days. The three of us pretty much did all the work and made it happen.
This place looks great. Thank you so much for your help.
You're welcome, honey.
The place, we cleaned it up really nice and made it, made it really cute and homey.
Hey, look what I found. Oh, isn't that great?
I really hope the kids will like it here.
We had a lifestyle that we were all very comfortable, and that was difficult to change.
They'll have to.
The kids, they weren't happy about having to move. They liked it where they were. They had friends where they were. They weren't looking forward to this.
I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted.
Let's get some food and rest up at the hotel. Tomorrow we'll get the rest of the stuff upstairs, fix anything else we can fix. Then we're heading back home.
Sounds like a plan.
But little do they know, Zoe's presence has triggered an awakening.
Slow.
In February of 2016, Zoe Day moves into a townhouse in Thousand Oaks, California, with the help of her parents.
Okay.
All right.
Got it?
Corner, yep.
Coming.
Okay. All right. Whoop. Okay.
The place was in kind of a rundown condition.
This house had so many issues. It was just one thing after another. And I just chalked it up to poor maintenance.
Almost there.
I didn't want to move. It wasn't my choice. It's just what had to happen. And so we made the best of it.
After 3 days of helping out their daughter, Laura and Robert head home.
Thank you.
I'll text you when we get to Big Bear, okay?
Okay.
Love you.
Love you.
Even though it wasn't wonderful to be there, it was still, Zoe had made it home.
But unbeknownst to Zoe and her parents, Zoe is not alone.
There were times when I'd walk up the stairs and the closet door would just be open, and I would look around thinking it couldn't have opened by itself because it was so stuck. I had that feeling, very unsettling feeling about being there. I didn't know why. I just felt really bad energy, and I wanted to get out.
Zoe decides to get some fresh air.
I started feeling really uneasy and like something was following me. And I kept looking over my shoulder, but there was nobody there. It was just me, but I just get a sense that there was something there. I just couldn't get home fast enough. I was afraid I was going to get jumped or something. I felt very vulnerable.
Ever since Zoe Day moved into a new neighborhood in Thousand Oaks, California, she's felt uneasy.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
I was being watched and followed, and I just wanted to get back to the house and close the door. I just panicked, and I felt, I'm not safe here. I'm not safe here.
Hello?
Mom, I'm not living here. It's not safe.
What are you talking about?
I can't live here. You've got to move me back to Calabasas. Hello?
We get the phone call from Zoe and she was very upset, saying, I can't stay here. This isn't safe. We have to move back. You could have threw a bucket of ice water in my face at that point. It was just like, what? What? And she was hysterical.
Zoe? That is your home now. There's no going back. You just need to accept it.
At that point, I was thinking that she was very much missing her old life. You know, it was just heartbreaking. And I said, honey, we're not moving you back. So that's all there is to it. You sleep on it and we'll talk about it in the morning.
She didn't believe that there was anything wrong. She just thought that I was stressed out or that I was overreacting. But I knew that it wasn't that.
Everything's gonna be okay. Good night, honey.
Get it together.
had to be at work. And so I steeled myself inside, kind of went through the motions. I just heard this heavy, angry stomping. It was so loud. It was like a 500-pound man was just stomping. The closet door was open again.
And this is just the beginning. One night, Zoe falls asleep in the living room.
It was a very slight girl with blonde hair, and just looking at me. She was very, very pale. All of a sudden, I was hanging over the stairwell. And I just thought that I'm gonna die. This is it.
Zoe Day is being levitated by a ghost inside her home.
I'm wondering, what do you want from me? Like, why are you doing this to me? I'm hanging there above the stairs. I could see the bottom, and I'm looking down going, she drops me, my neck is gonna crack. I broke down. I was terrified, and I felt powerless. I felt completely at the mercy of things I didn't understand. It's still very vivid.
Scared for her life, Zoe drives straight to her parents' home in Big Bear, California.
Blanket.
Zoe proceeded to tell me what had happened. She went through the whole experience, and she thought she was going to die. She was just hysterical. It took her a long time to calm down. I was just horrified, really. I mean, like, what is going on? It was a scary time.
Who's that?
I called Roz.
Roz Reynolds is a family friend who happens to be a professional psychic.
There was no doubt in believing her. I know there are haunted houses. I've known people who have been in them, and my best advice, like right off the top of my head, is call for help.
My name is Rosalind Reynolds, and I am clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. I am very strong with balancing, healing, and clearing energy in spaces with people.
What is all this?
These are my tools that I use when I'm working.
It's okay. You can trust her.
Roz, she's been a friend of my mom's for a long time. She was the person we knew that deals with this day in and day out.
Roz begins her session with an attempt to contact the spirit Zoe encountered in her home.
I was able to see the spirit, to connect with the spirit, and I realized immediately that she was an incredibly strong spirit. It's very rare for a spirit to be able to levitate.
She could have killed you if she really wanted to.
What do you mean?
The spirit you encountered, she's powerful. But she's just a mean-spirited prankster, and that's all.
Before I even told her everything, Roz was able to describe what the girl looked like.
If the spirit had any true intention to do her harm, she would have. There was no true intent to harm. There was just the desire to be a troublemaker, create energy that she could, live on.
Why is she here? What does she want from me?
You brought her to you.
What?
You emit a light from within you. It's like a magnet that attracts lost souls.
Zoe is extremely psychic, but never felt it.
She said, you shine a light that they're attracted to, and they're coming for you.
But why now? After all this time, why?
I call it an awakening.
Zoe was at a very powerful turning point in her life. And when we reach a point where we are no longer willing to just accept the way things are going, that sort of sets it up. I describe that as boom, the wake-up call. It hits you.
What does this mean?
It means you're going to be seeing a lot more spirits.
Next, Roz attempts to figure out where the ghost came from.
I'm using the skills of remote viewing, using maps, where I am looking at just the general structure of the area. I'm putting my hand over the map, feeling energy.
Suddenly, she has a vision of a long-forgotten graveyard not far from Zoe's home.
These were not the well-marked graveyards of families, and etc. These were graveyards of people who meant nothing to anyone. No one cared, and they just eventually became swallowed up by civilization.
Roz warns Zoe and her mother the negative energy from the nearby graveyard has opened a portal inside her home.
Well, when you say open portal, do you mean spirits are just coming in and out?
Yes, they come and go as they please.
The creation of portal energy is kind of like a perfect storm situation. It's a combination of the energy, the frequencies of the land, the place, The people involved,
Although Zoe is reluctant to return to the townhouse, Roz gives her tools to protect herself and assures Zoe that she has the power to fight back.
I told her point blank, you have to take your power with this because, yeah, you're going to be victimized if you don't. They don't have any power unless you give it to them.
I was still terrified, but knowing that she had me protected was somewhat of a relief. She told me to lay crystals and pennies around the corners of the room. It created some kind of a field, electromagnetic field, that they didn't like to cross. At that time, I had really hoped this was the end of seeing anything. I just wanted to be left alone. I wanted to feel safe in my own space. I wanted to not feel threatened in my home.
One night, Zoe touches base with her daughter who's attending a local college.
Oh, I was just calling to check in on you, wondering how you've been. I feel like I haven't seen you in a few weeks.
I've been super busy with classes. Just had a bunch of exams all in a row. Maybe next week I can stop by your place for dinner.
I tried to protect my children from this. I didn't want them to be feeling what I was feeling. I didn't want to worry them. I didn't want to put that burden on them. I would have to just deal with that best I could and leave them out of it.
Mom?
You know what? I think it's best that we go out to eat. You're probably sick of cafeteria food anyway. Look, why don't I text you next week about dinner, okay?
Okay, Mom. Love you.
Love you too.
There was a guy, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, I kind of, jerked my head back and gasped. And then when I did that, he realized I could see him.
What do you want?
Zoe Day's California townhouse has become a hotbed of paranormal activity. Despite the protective measures she's put in place, spirits continue to emerge from a portal in her home.
What do you want?
They were angrily stomping. I could hear them on the walls behind. Just making a ton of noise. It was all terrifying.
Desperate to move out, Zoe contacts her landlord.
At that point, I hadn't slept for about 3 days. I felt unsafe. I felt like there's nothing I can do to protect myself.
Hi, Mr. Wilson. Thank you for coming. Come on in.
Sure. What seems to be the issue?
Actually, I was hoping you'd let me out of the lease.
Let you out of the lease? Why? You just moved in.
It's personal.
I wish I could help, but you signed a year contract.
Please, I can't live here. It's not safe for me.
I'm sorry you're having troubles, but my hands are tied.
No.
When the landlord wouldn't let me out of the lease, it was upsetting. I couldn't take it anymore. And it just became clear that I couldn't be alone. I just wanted to leave.
She was, at this point, so traumatized. So traumatized. There wasn't going to be anywhere she could stay by herself.
Zoe tries to understand why she wasn't able to ward off the spirits. According to Roz, Zoe has the power within her to fight back.
Listen to me, you don't need to be afraid. What you need to do is you need to learn how to stand in your own power. You have the control, you can do this.
The spirits like to be in charge. They're very much about intimidation and harassment to try and get control of the mind and heart and spirit. Their energy is very dependent on the energy of the person experiencing the paranormal events. They want to feed on that. I had to help her get to the realization that she has the power to control this. You have to stand up and you have to take charge of this. And you have to realize that this is your life.
Standing in your power is setting the boundaries for what you will and won't allow. But when you're scared, that lets them come in.
Hello?
Zoe Day is being terrorized by spirits invading her home.
I opened the closet and it was just a black hole. And there were spirits down there. And they were trying to pull me down.
Zoe wonders if this nightmare is a message. She immediately reaches out to psychic medium Roz Reynolds.
Hello? Roz? I know where the portal is. Will you help me close it?
And I explained my dream to Roz. She was very excited. She goes, "That's the portal. That's the portal." That's how they're getting in your house. So that way you can now block that portal. We have to sear that portal closed.
I feel like where Zoe was at the time, it was an important shift in her perspective of her power and taking control of that. She was ready to get that thing shut, to stop that energy flow there.
Zoe asks her parents and Roz to join forces to close the portal.
I needed my family next to me.
Let's begin. First, I am going to encircle all of you in a white light. It is crucial during this time that each of you focus your energy on closing the portal.
I place myself in the center of that energy field in Zoe's home. I then draw a line of white light, and I ask my angels and guides to come in and reinforce the energy that I have established there. I extend it up into the universe and down to the core of the earth.
Yes, that's good. Keep your minds clear. Continue to imagine the white light. Stand next to it and it will protect you. And remember, they don't have any power unless you give it to them.
She coached us through the whole process, and it involved, channeling energy and white light.
We had done all the salt and done the crystals and done the copper, and Roz felt we were pretty secure.
Roz then senses paranormal activity coming from upstairs.
There was definitely a resistance to closing that energy field that was allowing, these activities to go on.
I meditated and concentrated on it and put forth my prayerful and creative intentions to get the portal closed. And as I was doing this, I felt that it was working, that it was going to stop.
I realized how much power that had to come from a place of strength and not fear, and be able to say, I don't consent, you're not allowed here.
Leave! Now! Return to where you came from!
I can see the spirits receding as that opening closes and begins to narrow down.
Now!
And the door shuts. It did feel very different the minute that process was completed. And that's how I know it has been a successful closing. Any and all vestige of their energy or any of their negative intent has been neutralized and removed.
It's done. The portal is closed.
Although the house is cleansed of spirits, the experience has proven exhausting. Zoe moves in temporarily with her parents. As for her psychic gift, she is learning to live with it.
I want Zoe to do whatever she feels like is right for her to do with her abilities. If she did nothing more, I would be fine with that. And, you know, as long as she's happy. I just want her to be happy.
I think she's continuing to evolve since this all started. She's a totally different person now, where she was very weak and vulnerable before. She knows what she needs to do, and she's, you know, taking control of her own life again. So that's a big change.
I definitely feel more empowered. Now I've gained a peace with it and a comfort. So it's still a journey, it's still a process. But I'm open to see where this goes. As Roz said, this can either be a curse or a gift. It really depends on you.
There are some objects that harbor spirits within them.
When I saw the video, my jaw just fell.
He turns his head and looks at me, and then turns his head back. It was one of the creepiest things I have ever seen.
And when that spirit is angry,
Fear me. It said, "Fear me," through the ghost box.
it will stop at nothing to get what it wants.
I'm literally having a heart attack. Norman was trying to kill me to get rid of me.
In America, there is real evil. It lurks in the darkest shadows and in our most ordinary towns. Between the worlds we see
Someone's in my room.
and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality.
My name is Stephen Lancaster. I am a paranormal investigator. I have seen a lot of things, but never seen anything like this. There was definitely the beginnings of a haunting. I just couldn't predict exactly how far it would go.
Off the coast of North Carolina sits the small town of Beulahville, home to paranormal investigators Stephen and his fiancée, Christina.
I had met Christina in the field of paranormal research at a class I was teaching. She was one of the students.
Let me know if you need assistance or have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Me and Stephen were friends for years before we started dating. We loved to go to antique stores and find rare and unusual things. I look for anything that calls out to me. It has to have some kind of feeling for me.
Suddenly, something catches Stephen's eye.
I just happened to look up and it stood out to me. It was this high chair with a wooden box sitting in it.
Wow, that's cool. I wonder what's inside.
Looks like someone doesn't want us to find out. The lock's been sawed off.
Somebody had popped the lock out, so there was no way to unlatch the lock. This is definitely something somebody didn't want anybody into. So I pulled out this little pocket knife. I always carry a pocket knife with me.
What are you doing?
Don't you want to find out what's inside?
Shimmied it inside and just pried the thing open.
Oh, man.
There was this ugly doll inside.
This thing's creepy.
I've always had a fascination with dolls. I'd collect dolls. I have a bunch of them, but it was the kind of thing that I like. I don't like just any doll, it's older dolls. I just think they have a lot of character.
He'd fit right into our collection. What do you think?
Let's do it. Welcome to the family. Whatever your name is. I'd like to buy this. What I really want is the doll.
The dealers recognize the doll right away. Although it's for sale, knowing the doll's history, they've tried to hide it.
One of them just looked at us funny, and she made some mumbly remark, and the other one said, well, I don't know that you really want that doll.
At first, the ladies at the counter were very reluctant, I guess would be the word to use.
This doll had a very sad start in life. Oh, I won't bother you with it.
Oh, no, please do. We love anything with a past.
It's a very sad story.
She said, anywhere this thing's at, sadness comes with it.
Years ago, there was a pregnant woman, and this particular doll was given to her as a congratulations gift, you know, shortly before she had birth.
She was pregnant with twins. The male baby was born, stillborn. The female lived. She took the doll and the female child home.
The mother was totally devastated. She was overcome with grief over the loss of her baby boy. Just 6 years later, that same mother died very tragically in a house fire. And the doll remained with the girl twin.
Years later, the same girl brought the doll to the shop and gave it to these two old ladies.
I think maybe that was closure for her, that she was saying goodbye to this.
Despite the doll's sad past, Stephen and Christina purchase him for their collection.
I'm glad he'll have a good home. Be careful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fits right in. What should we name him?
I was thinking Norman. He looks like neither doll nor man. Norman.
It's just me. Calm down. What are you guys doing?
I'm a mother of 5. Hannah is my youngest. She still lives at home.
Oh, God. What is that?
This is Norman. He's the newest member of our family.
Wow. You guys are so weird. Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you actually kept him as far away from me as possible, so...
They know I don't like dolls, and especially that type of doll, because that's just creepy.
I heard somebody pounding at the door. Knock, knock, knock. Instantly, I am up and wide awake, heart pounding through my chest.
What was that? We heard this really loud boom. It sounded like loud drumming, but it was like bam, bam, bam.
It's the middle of the night. I'm trying to sleep. My family's trying to sleep.
Someone's at the front door.
There was panic behind those knocks.
It's 4 in the morning.
I'll go check it out.
It wasn't tap, tap, tap like a Girl Scout selling cookies. It was bam, bam, bam.
Just stay here. I'll be right back.
There was quite a bit of anxiety. What if somebody's down there and they have a gun, or You know, I didn't know what their intentions were.
I walked down into the stairs and I'm thinking, the knocks were in series of threes. That was scary. In the field of paranormal research, any series of three typically relate to an evil force.
Who's out there? What do you want?
Stephen Lancaster has been suddenly roused from sleep by knocks on his front door at 4 a.m.
When I opened the door, I saw nothing. I could see as far out as the darkness would let me see, but there was nobody there. At first, I tried to be rational about it. It's a prank, it's dark.
Oh my God! You scared me to death.
Who was it?
No one. No one was there. Maybe just some neighborhood kids.
At 4 in the morning?
I don't know.
I was just wondering, you know, what in the world? Who was this person that was at my door and what did they want?
Alarmed, the couple purchases a multi-camera surveillance system.
Our cameras were installed scattered throughout the house. One was on the front porch where it would pick up anybody's face if they were knocking on the door.
It was there to provide answers for me. A camera doesn't lie. Inside and out, there wasn't a piece of ground that you could not see on the surveillance, and the only areas we were blind to on the inside was Hannah's bathroom and her bedroom.
I thought it was Mom because she'll come in and like grab something from my bathroom while I'm taking a shower or something.
Hello? Mom?
She looked petrified. She looked more scared than I've ever seen her in her entire life.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. You believe me, right?
I believe you think you saw something.
How can you not believe me?
We searched the house to make sure nobody was in the house. And then we just tried to reassure her the best you can to a 16-year-old child.
But the 4 a.m. visit and Hannah's encounter in the shower have left the family on edge. One afternoon, Christina's grandchildren, 11-year-old Amy and 8-year-old Adam, come by the house.
Stephen sometimes would babysit my grandchildren while I was at work and their parents were at work and school.
I'm kind of a convenience for them because I work from home.
Who's that?
When the grandchildren came over that day, the first thing they went to was Norman.
He's a doll we bought at an antique store.
Cool. Can I play my game?
Sure. Got some work to do anyhow, so you guys can hang out in here with me for a little bit.
Norman wants to know if he can watch TV too.
Guess that's okay.
Adam, he wanted him, you know, he wanted to play with him. I'd just let them do their thing. You know, Adam watched TV, Amy played on her tablet, and I just continued working.
I've got to grab something from the other room. You guys stay here. What's going on?
The doll. He moved by himself.
What do you mean the doll moved by itself?
I initially thought she did it. They're storytellers, they're kids, they do what kids do. Come on, what does this thing do, jump off the bed? So I said, we're gonna do something. We're gonna watch the surveillance, and if I see either one of you two grab that doll, I'm gonna have to talk to your mama.
You two think you're so funny.
Stephen goes back to the moment before he left the room, when he was sitting at his desk and Norman was sitting on the bed. Suddenly, he sees it.
He turns his head and looks at me. And then turns his head back. It was one of the creepiest things I have ever seen.
Stephen Lancaster has just recorded proof the doll he bought at an antique shop and named Norman is haunted.
When I pulled that surveillance clip up, that was one of the creepiest things I have ever seen. This doll cannot physically do that. I still cannot get over it.
Stephen shows the video to his fiancée, Christina.
When I saw the video, my jaw just fell.
I don't know what to think. I mean, how can a doll move on his own?
If anybody else ever told me that they had a doll that did that, I would have thought they were crazy. You know, you can't imagine things like that. Even seeing him sit on the bed behind the kids and move his head, I had no idea the things that Norman could do.
Suddenly, Stephen recalls what the salesperson told him when he and Christina bought the doll. She believes it's haunted.
Years ago, this pregnant woman was given this very doll just before she gave birth. She had twins.
They told me that the original owner of the doll had a visitor, a family member, a friend, brought this doll to her as a gift. She went into labor. The first baby was a stillborn, which would have been the brother of the two, and the second baby survived, which was the little girl.
And she was overcome with grief over the loss of her baby boy. So she was convinced that the boy's spirit lived on inside this doll.
That explains why it looks like hell.
Anything that comes from hell is bound to look like hell.
There are a lot of wives' tales and a lot of fake stories that go around. I figured it was just two old ladies just spinning a little yarn for us, but little did I know.
Do you think they were telling us the truth? That Norman is haunted by that twin baby boy?
Oh my God! How is any of this okay? You guys are talking about this like it is nothing. And meanwhile, we are gonna wake up to him stabbing us in our beds.
Hannah, you're being dramatic.
Am I, Mom? You saw the video.
That Norman could move on his own made me really uneasy. If Norman can move, does that mean he can do other things?
Why are you acting like I'm crazy for thinking Norman is evil?
Honey, we don't think you're crazy. We just don't know what Norman is yet. And we just can't judge it.
No. I am not talking about this anymore. This entire thing is crazy. I'm going to my room. I wish that you would get rid of that monster of a doll.
My greatest fear about Norman is falling asleep and waking up and him being over top of me. I was asleep and my blanket started pulling down. The covers started getting yanked harder and harder. I felt someone sit on the edge of my bed, and then someone started crawling towards me.
Mom.
Hannah Parker is convinced a doll named Norman is behind the haunting experiences in her house.
I was like, no, this is not happening. I felt someone sit on the edge of my bed, and then someone started crawling towards me.
Mom. Hannah! Oh my God! Somebody was in my room! I felt them crawling towards me on the bed!
It's okay. Oh, my poor baby. It really freaked me out. I can't imagine the terror she had felt.
There's no one in here.
I know what I felt. There was a man and he was in my bed.
Maybe it was a dream.
I'm not dreaming. It's that doll. That doll is behind all of this. It's evil and it's trying to kill me.
She was really shaken up. And she's a tough girl. She really is. You just don't mess with Hannah.
I'm not sleeping in here again.
Okay. You can sleep in the guest room. Come on.
Seeing how upset she was, Christina and I decided to let Hannah go stay with one of her older brothers for a while until we could get a better grasp on what's going on.
Determined to get to the bottom of things, Stephen contacts a fellow paranormal expert.
So this must be Norman.
My name's Darren Evans. My specialty is pretty much spirit communication, demonology, hauntings, that kind of stuff. When he sent me the video, I saw the head move. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is something going on here. It doesn't make much sense. So he was, he was onto something. But Stephen's always pretty skeptical of everything. He doesn't like to just automatically assume something is the paranormal.
Do you mind taking some notes?
Yeah.
I want to conduct a couple tests. I'm gonna check his temperature first. 74 degrees is the temperature of the room. I'm not seeing any signs of Norman. Wait. It's dropping. I've never dealt with anything like this before.
The temperature test. That blew my mind. There was some sort of manifestation, some form of spiritual energy inside of this doll, able to affect the temperature, the environment.
Darren, Christina, and Stephen decide to further investigate Norman using a ghost box, a device which allows spirits to speak through radio frequencies. Since the doll was in a fire, Darren taunts him to elicit a response.
Obviously, Norman's been burnt, and so I took a flame and held it to Norman's face. Just pretty close, but not I don't want to hurt Norman, of course. No.
Holy
The flame is triggering interaction. This is amazing.
Norman, what do you think about Stephen?
Die.
What does Darren have in his hand?
Fear me. It said, fear me, through the ghost box. And I'm like, okay. Can you turn the light on, Norman? No. The communication was just crazy. It was just insane, the amount of answers that we were getting from Norman. If you can't turn the light on, do something else.
There's nobody in the hallway.
What?
There's nobody. What was that?
My camera's been recording.
Sounds like somebody.
Try to open the door.
That was plain as day. It was like, do.
I'd never experienced that level of interaction with a haunted object in my life. That doll has a spirit attachment. My advice to people is if you feel like something is evil, unless it's worth $1 million or something, is to get rid of that object or give it away or get it out of your environment.
There's no time to waste. Stephen finds a woman online with an interest in haunted dolls and tells her everything about Norman. Despite the potential danger, the woman agrees to buy him. For Christina, it's not a minute too soon.
I believe that story from the antique store. That That woman's baby boy spirit is what's inside of Norman.
I had to believe that maybe it was the spirit of this child that was stillborn. I had no other reason to believe it was anybody else.
I think he's looking for another mother. Me. And he won't stop until he has me.
That's why he targeted Hannah and me, to get rid of us and have you all to himself.
I really, truly did start to believe that he wanted me out of the picture. I think that he wanted me gone. I think he felt he was going to intimidate me in a way to where I would leave, and he would have the mother he always wanted.
Over the next few days, the family senses a certain peace in the house.
Feels different in here without Norman, doesn't it? Better. Happier.
You know when the humidity is so strong, it makes it hard to breathe? That's what it was like living with Norman. When he was gone, it felt like just crystal clear, clean air.
I'll go see who that is.
No.
All I could think was, you gotta be kidding me. That cannot be what I'm thinking that is.
The woman who was to take Norman claims she never received him. No one from the post office is able to verify why or how he's come back.
There was absolutely no explanation as to why the doll was returned.
I am not an angry person. I am an extremely laid-back person, but I lost my damn mind.
Why are you doing this to us? What do you want? Leave us alone! We don't want you here!
Oh my God, Steven!
After attempting to rid their North Carolina home of a haunted doll, it returns and sets its sights on owner Stephen Lancaster.
Leave us alone! We don't want you here!
The room started to spin, and then all of a sudden I could feel it in my chest. I was scared to death. I'm literally having a heart attack.
What was going through my mind was, oh my God, I just don't know what to do. What if something happens to him?
Wait, come on, honey, talk to me.
I knew it was Norman.
Please, wake up.
Norman was trying to kill me to get rid of me. I tried to get rid of him. It was his turn. He was trying to get rid of me.
The couple is beyond terrified. But before they can figure out a way to get rid of Norman, they are faced with a new problem, one capable of making the haunted doll even more dangerous, a Category 5 hurricane.
Our area is often highly affected by hurricanes, tropical storms. When a storm hits, it could at least be 2 weeks before you can get to a main road.
The belief is that the ionic energy in a storm can help fuel any paranormal activity.
When you're talking about a hurricane, it doesn't get any bigger than that.
I've been through a lot of hurricanes. Power goes out, it's no big deal.
Stephen, I'm scared.
But when the lights went out during Hurricane Matthew, my heart fell into my stomach. And all I could think was, oh my God, what's gonna happen?
I hear like a whisper. I jerked my head. It was right in my ear.
What was that?
It's coming from upstairs.
Where were you going?
Let's check it out. Come on.
I was mostly afraid of something physical happening to Christina or myself because there would have been nothing we could do.
Let's go check out the bedroom.
I was expecting Norman to make his move. And part of me hoped he would, so I could see exactly what is inside this doll.
After gathering proof that their doll Norman is haunted, video of the doll's head turning on its own, audio of the doll's voice captured on a ghost box.
What do you think about Stephen?
Stephen and Christina attempt to capture evidence that a spirit is attached to the doll.
What the hell was that? No, he was standing right there in the mirror. I saw him right there. He was right there.
When I saw that figure, it scared me to death.
I got him. I got a picture of him.
When I looked down and I saw that picture, I thought, this is it. This is the guy. This is who's been in Norman. This is who's been haunting us.
I do believe that what we saw that night was a manifestation of Norman.
Stunned, the couple comes up with a plan. Since they haven't been able to get rid of the doll, they decide to make peace with its spirit by giving him his own room.
I think this is actually gonna work.
I was hoping for closure when it came to creating a room for Norman.
I was hoping that that room would give Norman some normal in his life that would make him feel like he was part of a family.
Norman missed out on everything in life. He never got a chance to live. Hopefully this will give him what he wants. Hopefully this makes him happy.
The couple has developed a theory as to who inhabits Norman. They believe the spirit of the baby boy who died during childbirth is now a grown man.
If this infant that passed at birth, if his energy transferred to this doll, would he remain infantile for the rest of existence? Or, by observation, would he age mentally? We read books, we play video games, we learn things every day from observation. It's very possible that there's a 56-year-old man inside this doll if he is aged mentally simply by observation.
Think he likes his new room? His own room?
I do.
I think he's probably angry because he's stuck inside a doll. His whole life has been seen through the eyes of this doll.
A childhood, growing up, his first kiss, his first girlfriend, his first job. He just has to sit back and watch everybody else enjoy those things. And I think with that comes a lot of spite.
It's now been 2 years since the couple moved the doll into his own room, and it appears his spirit is alive and well.
Things calmed down. There were no more tantrums, as I like to call them, after he moved into his room. There were times that I could hear what sounded like a little giggle come from the room. I thought I heard the rocking chair rocking. And then you could hear what sounded like little footsteps in the room.
I would just creep up and just put my ear to the door, and I would hear things moving around in there. It became few and far between, it just quieted down. It was just out of sight, out of mind at that point.
As for the family, they have become true believers that haunted objects exist.
My experiences with Norman has changed me a lot. Before this, I would have never subscribed to the idea of haunted dolls.
I believe in a lot of things I didn't believe in before because Norman has made me a believer.
The way I feel about Norman now is it's just a part of our life now. He's just gonna be there and there's nothing you can do about it.
So far, I think we're closer to peace for all.